the rain. Can't stop the rain. This crazy motherfucker.
I can't stand the rain against my window. I can't stand the rain.
Hey, I had to bring you here. How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm all the way in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Man, first time here, man. A lot of good music coming out of here. A lot of culture down here, too.
And you'll catch diabetes out here. And you ate out here yet?
Yeah, I did.
What you eat?
You know, I ordered some fast food, man. It's hella salty. I see what it is. There's something different about it. Not only the heat, but man, you know, me, a guy from up north, I've been trying to like tap into, especially the southern markets. I really see like you guys are doing your thing down here. So
no, praise it to you.
Appreciate you for that.
Because of you, we watch you tear down Atlanta,
Hold on now.
Chicago,
No.
Memphis, and you put us on top.
No.
You put us on top.
I put Dallas on top?
You put on top. You tore down everybody that was popping. You tore down everybody that was popping.
I feel like I look into wherever culture exists. So wherever the organic stuff is happening, you gotta realize, I'm the media. I can't build it. I can't report on something I don't see. So it's like, wherever the people are and whatever is really happening, we're gonna report on it. Unfortunately, sometimes these things, you know, it's not the, you know, it says a rose that rises from the concrete.
Right.
That's what rap is. The best stories in rap, the biggest artists come from really bad backgrounds. You know what I mean? Rap is something that you get to and you probably be able to tell the most interesting stories when you didn't grow up with a silver spoon, you know?
But you made the stories visualize.
We're in a visual era.
You know why? You believe you killed more people than rappers?
No.
You have made more people gangsters than rappers did.
Wait, say that again.
You have made more children gangsters and killers than rappers have.
Nah.
We wouldn't know what Chicago looked like it wasn't for you.
It's the music that does it, though.
We wouldn't believe in that music till you put the picture.
Here's the thing. It's always a blame shifting thing, right?
Right.
Because the blame could then get shifted to, I wouldn't have any influence if there wasn't visuals, like videos, people there. So I could say it's the internet, right? Because when we used to hear about gangbanging music in the 90s, there was a lot of killing and a lot of things happening.
Right.
But we wouldn't see it. Now, you know.
We didn't have academics.
Well, I started covering Chicago because I remember, again, I didn't start it. I was looking at something that I was interested in because I love the music.
Right.
And the stuff I would see around it that no one was talking about, I was horrified by. It was the first time I seen.
Was you horrified by it or interested?
Nah, horrified.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, the idea of the war in Chirac came from people. It was one year where there was more deaths and murders in Chicago than was happening in Iraq. So again, it sounds like numbers.
Right.
And when you hear somebody rapping about it, it sounds good because I'm telling you, black people, listen, I'm Jamaican. Oxtail, my favorite food. You know where that come from? They used to give that to the slaves. This is what we don't want. Throw it out. Give it to people in the outhouse. They made it the best food. It's the most expensive thing. Go to a grocery store.
Right.
So we have a particular skill of taking the worst situations and making it best. So when I'm listening to the music sounds good. The thing with Chicago, I remember watching it. And it's the first time I seen a video of someone just dying and people just filming it. And it kind of opened up my eyes. Like, people kind of have an insatiable appetite for death, for violence. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it did change music because I think when people see it, it's not that. I thought I was gonna create the opposite effect of what happened.
How you thought you? Yeah. Man,
I'm serious. I thought I was gonna make people.
Yeah.
This is why there's controversy around it, because the way I would talk about it, I would talk down on it.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can't believe y'all letting people like this operate in civilization. Instead, people are like, no, those are the real ones.
Yeah.
And that was a conflict of mine because a lot of times I was covering the stories and I'm like, listen, I've never grown up in the hood. So
I heard you had degrees from Rutgers.
Yeah, I got a degree from Rutgers, a biomathematics degree.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching this stuff, I'm a little bit horrified.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're gonna look at some of these guys and be like, yo, that song sound fire, but you're not a good person. Instead, it added to their lore.
Did you fall in love with the culture? You too deep in the culture now?
I think at this point, unfortunately, I realize you can't separate. There's no utopian society. There's no utopian culture where I love drill music.
You do?
But drill music won't be authentic if people are making up situation. If they're not rapping about actual issues they have. It's the same really across music all the way. If you like, I like A Boogie. I've always said this. I said, A Boogie didn't go through a serious heartbreak in a while. He make heartbreak music. When he's not going through that time, songs don't hit.
Right.
You can tell when something's genuine. So people always are attracted to genuine stuff. And I think that's just the unfortunate part. And it's really is sad. It's like, again, over time, I do believe these things curb their way. Like, for example, I stopped covering Chicago in terms of how I was doing in Warren, Chirac. Not only did I realize that the influence, because I started I was treating my thing like a newspaper. I was like, listen, when you go to a newspaper, you want to read mainstream news. This was going on with Trump. This was going on with, LeBron. And then you might want to go to the local side. And you might want to see, okay, they're going to talk about what happened at the mom and pop store. And the amount of people that latched on, I started realizing that, it was creating, it was almost like a McDonald's effect where it was just churning them out. It was like every day, every year I was covering a new rapper that would.
But you only post the gangsters and people that's going through some shit. You don't never post the good kids.
You're right. Hold on. I'm not saying, not all the time. Not all the time. And that's what I'm saying. I love this conversation.
You ain't never posted Big X. You ain't never covered Big X. I'm talking about brought him to your show.
On his come up?
On his come up, brought him to your show. All that. I would love to. I know, but I seen you only post killers and snitches.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you a question. And
killers and snitches.
The number one word in hip hop should be accountability. I always talk about it.
Right.
But, and I hate to use this word because I feel like I'm quoting. This is a phrase from somebody else. Selective politicking.
Right.
You see, accountability goes everywhere.
Right.
It's up to the media.
Right.
What you're showing.
Right.
If I got a platform and say if 80% is about snitches.
Right.
Okay, that you have a reasonable argument to say you're promoting.
Right.
That type of thing.
Right.
But it's also about parents. If you have kids and you're saying, well, I'm just gonna blame academics, or you're gonna blame the rapper, and then it's also the rapper.
You're raising kids.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying, accountability.
More people look at your shit than they daddy.
That's the problem. That's a societal problem then, right?
No, but you taking advantage of the situation. That's good though.
But everybody does.
You're right about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say accountability.
Right.
I'll admit that I think record labels, record owners,
right.
I think managers, everybody, because put it like this, I've seen a manager walk an artist into an interview and give him drugs before the interview, knowing he has a drug problem.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But he gotta do this to promote the album.
Yeah.
Or they book the studio session and they give him the exact vice that's gonna end up have him do some dumb stuff, go in jail. So it's all about accountability. I'm pick and choose with it.
Yeah.
I know I have some, because if you influence the culture, you always have accountability. And I do influence the culture. The thing is, anytime I start taking accountability, everybody act like they're innocent. I'm telling you, when I look at, when I look at, and I think this is another rapper who's from Texas, TK. I don't think TK was influenced by, TK is straight Chief Keef, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That music, that embodiment of, that's how I'm a young nigga trying to get lit. This is how I'm living life. He's looking at that.
Right.
Do I think Chief Keef was trying to, think about Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD literally, who died of drugs, said, yo, Future's the one who got me hooked. So there's, again.
Have you ever went to a funeral?
Yeah.
A couple of rappers? What rapper funeral you went to?
A rapper funeral?
Yeah.
I haven't went to a rapper funeral. I was supposed to go to X's funeral.
No rapper funeral? Have you ever visited them in jail?
I talked to them in jail a lot. I probably talked to them too much in jail. And because usually, for the ones I know I'm cool with, I'm the support system outside of that. And sometimes I'm the ears and their eyes to.
You the clout. Everybody want to talk to you to get clout. People will ruin their life just to for you to talk about them to prove that they gangster. I never seen nothing like it. Or they died you. more snitching. I ain't gonna lie, me, when it come down to you, if you ever got jammed up, would you tell?
I'm a civilian. Well, here's the thing, jammed up like how?
Like if you got jammed up.
All right, there's a bunch of people here. If you got a couple criminals over here that are gonna do some criminal shit right here, and the police come over here, you don't even gotta, yes, I'm gonna tell exactly what happened.
So look, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why kick Young Thug while you down?
I'm not kicking him while he's down.
Man, you made a fool of himself when you went live.
Yo, let me tell you this. You know, I struggle with this. I struggle with it a lot because I think people like you give me so much power.
Right.
And I get it. I think I'm pretty good at, if I have a narrative that I would want to promote, I think I could do a good job of it. But I'm usually just amplifying voices. Not necessarily, like, for example, I like Young Thug. I know this game, been picking and choosing.
Right.
Like, I told that at 6ix9ine a long time ago. I said, listen, man, and you this Mexican kid who nobody liked before. You're done. Other people, we'll be like, you know what? He was 14 when he did that. We'll have a bunch of excuses. So it's not me. I like Thug. If I could just wave a magic wand and just, you know, everybody just, that's what I'm saying. I struggle if I have the power or I just have the platform. It's kind of like the World Star question back over again. So like people used to say, how much does World Star contribute? Because remember when people used to be hanging out in the crowd and niggas used to say, World Star did knock somebody out?
Yeah.
They'd be like, well, they're doing it for World Star.
Right.
But then if you extrapolate out of that situation, no, these people are doing it because they want to be famous. It doesn't matter if it's World Star or someone else.
Yeah.
So like even now with Thug, and I think because I have a voice, you know, obviously I could put certain things in a certain way. Shit, when it comes to Thug, I don't even have a say. First of all, I don't care if he a snitch. I don't think he told.
You don't think he told?
Yeah, because I'm gonna give you a narrative thing.
Right.
If you ever really want to know what's going on in my mind.
Right.
I love the chaos going on now. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's the first time that there's been this ideology of the streets, but it's very selective. I've been asking everybody who claim they come from the streets, what is snitching? I've gotten 1,000 different responses. So some people will say, you say something that lead to a conviction. You say something that lead to an arrest. Some people will say, you even talk to a police officer.
Right.
Some people might, it's really varied form. The reason I'm saying I like the chaos is because I know overall the streets end up being destructive, but if you guys are gonna, you know, make a uniform code. So I don't care, like to me, you didn't tell. Because from the first thing I heard about snitching was, hey, listen, you're telling on someone that was involved in a crime with you.
Right.
Right? Then it was just, no, you're telling on anyone.
Right.
Then it was, you're giving up any information. So as long as people come to a solid, I've always said, I could deal in any society as long as one rule applies to me, applies for you.
Right.
So that's what I want to hope gets figured out. Now, in terms of Young Thug and his career, I don't think his career is over. And also, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I made a bet. My man over there made a bet. I said, yo, I've accepted that things ain't fair. Things ain't fair. Even with me. When someone else could do something and I could do something. I'm one of the most hated people online, too.
Are you scared of that?
I'm not scared of it, but I've accepted it at this point.
Are you scared of your safety?
No, I try to move cautious. But to move around, yeah, of course. But to move around being scared, if I'm scared, I wouldn't go. But do I move around cautious? Yeah.
Is this job better than you going to school having your degree?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, let me say this. This is why I've loved media so much.
Right.
The most, you know, a lot of people, like even Kanye West, people look at him like a megalomaniac, like he's seeking power.
Right.
The most important aspect of power is influence. And after working 15 years in media, I realized he who has the ability to even affect 1% of influence in someone else. I can't force you to think something else.
Right.
But if I even can plant a seed, that's the most important thing in the world.
Right.
So I think me working in media and having, you know, gotten to the level where I've gotten, I've realized that, yeah, I could have a tremendous impact either, you know, for whatever way. And I just think it's more impactful. You know what I mean?
You got the power to ruin somebody's career.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Have you ruined somebody's career?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but this is also this is why there's always like a downfall of men. You know, at the end of the day, me and rappers have gotten into it. I've definitely said and made a stance about it. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna be the person who say I'm just objective all the time. There's a lot of times I said, you know what? Yeah. Based on this situation, okay, we're you know. And by the way, this is hip hop. Right. You know, and I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I hope people look at me not as perfect, but as someone honest enough to say it.
But you actually, so basically you admit that you're taking advantage of small-thinking black people. Oh, not say small people that love hip-hop.
I don't think it's small thinking. No, it's not small thinking.
You just told me that you don't think Young Thug was a snitch.
Yeah, but I can't impose my morals and values.
Right, but on that live, that whole live was basically telling the world he was a snitch. Because you had one big snitch.
I was playing devil's advocate. Listen, I'm the platform.
Everybody that was on there was accused of snitching.
Okay, I'm glad you even said that. You know, I just had a conversation yesterday about that.
Right.
And actually, I was talking to 21 Savage about it. And he kind of said what you said. But not giving me blame. He said, you have the platform act, but, and I agree, this is a power and responsibility I hold. Right. If someone is saying you're a predator, the worst things you can say about a person, right? If someone's saying that, right, and I find the only 3 people on earth that can say it, and I give them the voice, right, and I never have, there's a billion other people that would be like, no, I was there, that didn't happen. Yeah. And I shun them, the responsibility is on me for my biasness shaping a narrative. Facts, right? Here's the thing with the Thug case. Right. And I said to Savage, I said, brother, the thing is, because it's picking and choosing, there's no one who wants to speak on his behalf right now. Yeah. I want somebody to speak up, to be like, hey, listen.
To prove
and I asked him, I said, listen, if you know somebody who's a guy who comes from that environment, because again, I keep saying in this whole thing, I'm a civilian.
You're not a civilian no more. You're not a civilian. I'm not a civilian no more. You got more street knowledge than street niggas.
No, but for me, you're a civilian if you're not involved in street shit. In terms of if you're not doing anything, like for example, if somebody do something to me, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna slide them, I'm gonna go to the police. So I'm a civilian. Again, the idea that I have of somebody who's not a civilian is that we're playing, like we're not coloring in between the lines. We're kind of outside of that. So, okay, all right, you did this to me, I'm gonna do that to you. Hey, listen, I'm gonna get it how, like whether I gotta sell drugs, whatever, I'm gonna do it in unconventional means. And that's how it's a shared understanding that this is how we're getting down, right? Me, I'm going to color within the lines. Look, all the time. So again, I think we're in an interesting place because, you know, I think the reason why you have that opinion, you're probably looking at it to say, your platform will affect people in the streets that is looking at it and they might do something.
Yeah, they might do something.
But here's the thing though. And this is why, like, you know, at a point, you got to condemn the streets because if you're being influenced by the square, you're stupid.
Small thinking, that's what I told you earlier.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say, well, unless we're just calling all street niggas small thinking. And that's not true either.
But you said stupid, so what's the difference of stupid?
I call it Darwinism, in a sense. Yeah. Because, you know, it's survival of the fittest. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are successful. I mean, Jay-Z might not have been a killer, but he was a hustler. He was doing his dirt. If you are thinking on a micro level and you're willing to go throw away your life just like that or get influenced by a guy who's, it's not like I'm acting like I'm a street dude. That's the biggest, those are the stories I like to put out there. Hey, this guy was acting like he's super tough. Here's the proof he's not. Yeah. So the lifestyle you were following him with, you should probably stop. But if I'm telling you who I am, I'm telling you, hey, I wouldn't do that. And you go do something else. Or you're like, you know what? He made me feel a certain type of way. If you're doing anything for my approval, you know, I won't necessarily just call it stupid, but I'd say there's bigger issues. There's bigger issues because these people, a lot of times they're in a bad financial situation. And then there's other things that's happening that we gotta, you know, think about.
No, I got some friends, even my homegirl, Hellcat a stud. For me, I hate studs.
Wow.
Because studs can play both sides.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They can say they damn near they can say they a civilian. They damn near say they a street nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know Hellcat all the way a street nigga, but at the end of the day, I watch people like Charleston White. Charleston White,
Does he play both sides?
He's a gangster.
Charleston's a gangster.
Charleston a gangster. Charleston ride around with a bunch of pistols. Charleston will shoot you in your ass.
That's not a gangster.
That is. I seen the first time I met Charleston. Come out the bushes at a strip club, shot 3 people. They was talking shit on the internet, called aggravated assault with deadly weapon.
That's not a gangster.
That's more gangster than rappers. Do you know one thing I can say
I don't look at it as gangster.
No, one thing I say about Charleston and you, me, other people that's influenced and hated on the internet is you don't ride around with 100 dudes. A rapper got to ride around with 100 dudes everywhere they go. So what is gangster? Because I believe that what you do is gangster. I seen you pull up here that you didn't know nothing about, and you more hated than rappers.
Yeah.
So you really not a civilian. You really is like, let's say, you really tough.
I don't even look at it like that. You know, you get to a point where some people might confuse brave and being fearless and also being stupid.
Right.
I always looked at 6ix9ine. People say he's not a gangster because he told.
Right.
100 million%, I think he's fearless. I seen him walk in situations that he probably was gonna get an ass whooping or he could have got shot. And I seen and I remember being in his ear to say, nigga, this is the one you duck out. And I seen him confront it. And a lot of it is stupid. Some of it's fearless. Now, when you, and this is the thing with rappers, they live in a facade, right? The guy, most rappers are just like me and you. You know, because at the end of the day, we're all men. All right, get it, we come from different upbringing, but we're all men. You remove the 100 dudes, and it's, like, that's why I've told rappers, I'm like, I know some of these guys roll around with 100 people, but I'm still a man and they're a man. And I've challenged some of them, I said, we could just fight. Because, at the end of the day,
have any rapper accepted your fate?
One day he never shown up.
Who the most gangster rapper?
Well,
that you met?
That I met. You see, that's such a fucked up question. Because just like how you say the influence, this is gonna influence some of the things. That's what gangsta is. Because I would say like Von the Dirk.
I said Kevin Gates.
But you know why I would say that is because of what I've heard they have been involved with, how I've heard they've stood on business, how I've heard they have inflicted possible pain. But I don't know if that's the constructive definition of what gangster should be.
And I'm glad you said that, because look, I understand you have covered a lot, look, in the industry, but I don't think you ever took them to the dark side. See, y'all are posts, and no disrespect to you, I'm just saying all the blog sites, because I understand they'll post to people going back and forth, this and that, but this the aftermath, you know? Yeah. That's the aftermath of the situation. And I don't think kids ever see the aftermath of the situation. I know people glorify the beef and who did this and who did that, who gangster, who not gangster, who told, who not. But at the end of the day, no one win. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you come here, it's like your kids grew up with no daddy and the world still move on. And then people will glorify the killers until they go to jail and then people forget about it. But I never see people ever tell them the aftermath of the situation. And then, like, I never seen you post Mo 3 when he was alive, except for beef.
Well, you're right, but I'll give it a retort to that. I think it was just the level your music got to bubble up for it to hit the platform for us to start posting it is at a certain point.
You post Bun 1700. Well, he ain't got more plaques than this nigga. Well, what level he's on?
Well, he's more visible. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the problems I think Southern artists was having, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of like, and I say it's to LA now. I'm like, outside of LA, we don't know y'all.
Yeah.
Because y'all are insular.
Right.
Inside LA, y'all are a huge deal.
Right.
Outside of it, not that much. What's the name of that group? There was a group of like 3 dudes. They broke up. They're from LA. Can't remember what their name is, but nobody knew them outside of LA. They're big though. Oh, Jeezy was in it.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, with Mo3, up north, we didn't know about him like that.
How? He had millions of views and platinum plats.
But that's how fractured the United States is. You could be down in this region, and you could completely dominate.
But you know about Sauce Walker.
He's loud. He's loud. He's entertaining. You got to realize, this is the first era we've lived in. And let me give you something about the music industry, and I think you'll agree.
Right.
You see, back in the day, a nigga like Rod Wave couldn't exist. The fat nigga who got a good voice, great message, soul. Can't. He won't exist. They got to market a look. You got to market a presence. It just wasn't about just the music.
Right.
So rappers, like if you think about even the great rappers that came out in New York, think about them. If we were talking about 50 Cam, like these are guys with big personalities.
Right.
I've even said it when it comes to like movies and stuff like that. Back in the day, for you to be the guy, you had to be like a Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx played the piano, he sing, he dance, he does everything, right? He does comedy as well.
Right.
These days, you can be the antisocial person that pops off. You get like maybe 500,000 followers, but you don't have a personality. You can't talk. You can't do anything. You don't even look appealing, right?
Right.
It still does matter, especially when it comes to media, when an artist could promote themselves.
Right.
Like look at somebody like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine was shelved. He started, okay, I need to just get the attention of people by going viral, by either being funny, shit, might even be by creating a fictional beat. That's still a thing. Sauce Walker is highly entertaining.
Right.
Like you could put him in any city, and his entertainment value is gonna bring eyeballs.
Yeah. Outside of music.
Yeah, we post a kid out of Toronto, his name is Top 5. I've been begging him to drop music. He's dropped about like 5 songs ever. Right. I've been begging him. He came out of jail, begging him to drop music. But even now, the music game is so messed up because he looks at it to say, I could monetize the attention more without even dropping a song. I could go do this deal over there, do this. I'm getting paid for this. I'll do some interview.
Right.
They turn into a whole different thing. So that's what I would say about when you say like Mo3 and how come we didn't give him the attention.
You feel like you slept on him?
Oh, no, of course, because I do like
I seen you make a ridiculous post the other day and say, Rod Wave and Big X was the soul of pain or something in that narrative. Big X was Rude Boy showed me the post that said something about Rod. They the king of post. I mean, king of pain, but
no, I didn't say king of pain.
Oh, he created it. The pain music?
Yeah, but that came from a long time ago. I wouldn't say nobody created it, but he was a part of it.
Oh, he created it.
This is why
when you mix R&B and pain, you got him.
Okay, that's a subgenre, yeah. So, no, I agree with you. No, I agree with you. Now, I think when I listen to his music, I think it makes his death even more tragic.
Why you say that?
Because he was going to be huge. Like, the post I was trying to make was this. I'm seeing a lot of people tell me now, I talk to label owners all the time. Like, people think I talk to rappers. I talk to label owners, executives, A&Rs. Like, I talk to a lot of people because I've realized my business in media is tied to the music industry. And just talking to sometimes, the rappers are usually the least knowledgeable. So I really got to talk to these other guys to kind of get an understanding of what's going on.
You keep repeating that and they don't catch on. Rappers is the least knowledgeable, like, they're stupid.
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, you know, or let me not say stupid, ignorant.
Ignorant,
because they're
so
ignorant.
you've been taking advantage of the ignorance.
Well,
I have too.
No. Well, I'm talking about in terms of the music industry. They're ignorant to, like, I got a biomathematics degree, right? I'll tell you what that degree does.
Right.
That degree would say, okay, we got a population of 1 million. Okay, say a disease breaks out right here. How could we figure